Here's an incredible story that makes me wonder whether an evaluation should be done before people are allowed to parent children. A boy has been found dead of dehydration as a punishment for wetting the bed in Texas. The couple is under arrest, Lewis, for punishing their 10-year-old son for wetting the bed by refusing to give him water. The boy died of dehydration. The one thing I am not clear on is it had been 5 days, and my understanding is you can't actually die of dehydration in 5 days. What I believe happened is that the boy choked on peanut butter because his throat was so dry from the 5 days of not drinking water. So in a sense, it's a indirectly died from dehydration type of situation. Doesn't matter. It's still obviously child abuse, and the parents are under arrest.
I think you can die within 5 days.
You can die in just 3 days of dehydration.
From no water.
Yeah.
He had food, but no water. Really? In 3 days? 3 days with food, but without water, not in the desert.
Well, depending on the food, it could have water in it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're eating watermelons, you'll be fine.
Oh, good.
Fruits, vegetables are mostly water.
Well, the Dallas Morning News is reporting that Jonathan James died just on July 25th, and court documents really are outlining the fact that the last few days of his life were a complete horror. 5 days without water. He was forced to stand at the window in a room without air conditioning. And you know that, Lewis, in Texas, it gets incredibly hot with that sun down there. You've spent some time there in another life. And his twin brother Joseph said that on the day he died, he got peanut butter stuck in his throat. He collapsed, hit his head on the floor. An ambulance was called. It was too late. And he died later at the hospital. And people emailing me saying, again, when we talk about these were God-fearing parents, Lewis, does a story like this prove that God exists when you see that parents are capable of making a kid die in such a pointless, inhumane, cruel way? It's an incredibly sad story. And it really brings up the question, well, number one, the parents have not even been charged with murder at this point, or even manslaughter. The charges are something along the lines of, I don't remember the charge, but it is not the major charge that seems that would be warranted here. So hopefully that can be escalated. That's number one.
Right.
But number two, should there be an evaluation done of parents before they decide to have children? And this is not an abortion question. This is not to see if the mother should be forced to have an abortion. Calm down. That is not the discussion. But to see if the parent should be allowed to keep and parent that child. Because you have to assume that, I'm not saying this would resolve all of the problems, but some of the parents who would be capable of keeping a kid away from water for 5 days, we would be able to notice that there's something wrong in just a basic interview with a panel of 3 mental health experts. Would we not, Lewis?
Not necessarily.
Some. I'm not saying all, but some of these we are going to...
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so should that not be considered? I mean,
Well, first of all, it sounds like a monumental undertaking.
Think about it this way, and I'm not suggesting that this is the answer, but I just want to present it in a different way. If you want to drive a car, okay, you're required to spend, I don't know how many hours it is in driver's ed. You're supposed to be doing driving practice with a certified person, and then you have a test with a police officer, and then at any point your license can be revoked, okay? You can just have as many kids as you want. There's no check or balance in any way to determine whether you're a competent parent. If physically you are able to get yourself or get someone pregnant, you can have a kid, and that's it. Yes, there are child protective services. The kid could be taken away from you if the right reporting is in place and people find out. But is there not a faulty standard here in terms of who is qualified to be a parent or not? And I know this is touchy stuff. And again, I'm not suggesting this should be done. I'm asking the question whether more oversight is needed. How many kids could be safer? And again, the question is, if they are put into foster care, how many will also have disappointing, sad experiences in foster care?
Right. That's another question. And if you do implement something like this, I would imagine that the number of children going into foster care because of it would be huge.
So you're agreeing with me that a huge number of parents would be determined to be incompetent to parent a child?
Absolutely.
But you just don't think it would resolve all of them?
No, it wouldn't. And I just think that it would just cause such a huge mess overall trying to do something like that.
All right, well, but is a mess really a reason not to look into ways to keep kids?
Well, when you've got buildings full of kids that have no parents filling up in city after city.
So you're saying it would be better to risk the 5-day dehydration death because there's orphanages that are full.
Overall, things like this are pretty rare, even with completely incompetent parents.
Natan, what do you think on this? I mean, the resistance to doing any kind of testing or rather evaluation before someone is allowed to parent a kid would never be received well.
No, and I think this is a slippery slope. I mean, you would then open the door to having a bunch of discrimination preventing certain types of couples from having parents, whether they be gay, black, immigrants, etc.
Well, what's an example of that? I mean, I don't think there would be because we're not talking about because the parents are gay or black. What's a specific?
No, officially,
no,
it wouldn't
but the
be
panel,
because of that.
Hold on,
hold
on.
It would open the door to the, like, just as when you get fired, the supposed reason why you're getting fired or you're not being allowed to have kids is one.
It would
but
open
it's
up
really
the door
another.
to the bias of those on the panel.
Right.
Absolutely.
Interesting. That's an interesting point. Let's wrap up because we have to get to Dr. Sid Wolf next. Make sure to like us on Facebook, facebook.com/David Pakman Show, and get one of our t-shirts at davidpakman.com/gear. Pictures are coming in of people with their t-shirts. Keep them coming. Back after this.
The David Pakman Show at davidpakman.com.